In this second part of Going Medieval Lone Wolf, we are going from this to this. Now, along the way, I'm showing you loads of the usual tips and tricks, what to do, what not to do, along with loads of raids, a bar fight, people getting stuck in holes for now, and then obviously just building up our mega defenses. So if you enjoyed this series, please show the love down in the comments below, but without any haste, let's get straight into it. Welcome back to part 2 of my Going Medieval series. Now we're jumping straight back into where we left off quite literally. However, we are making some tweaks. Basically, when I went away and thought about the way I was designing this, I was like, okay, it actually needs a bit more tinkering and thinking, and I'll tell you why. So to build Helm's Deep, as we were saying, we're going to need to really think about strategy in terms of defending. Now, this is going to come in terms of how they're going to enter, navigate upwards, what kind of traps and doors we're going to think of and include, but also where our people are going to shoot down from. Now, one thing I have learned along my travels of playing this difficulty is that AI are a ton smarter than what you think. Trust me, they do use their brains, their mechanical brains, and AI will take over the world, and it's been proven by this game. So by that, I mean, let's say we add our system going up and down here. So they have stairs starting down here on the right, then left and right again. However, the AI at some point after a raid or two do learn that this is not the best system to go through your trap to get to where your settlers are. They will literally start building ladders upwards. Now, if you want to stop that, you will have to mine this layer out here. So by that, I mean this one here highlighted, because obviously that will generate a gap, and they can still, bear in mind, put a, what do you call it? They can put a floor down and then they put a stick ladder, but you have time to shoot them. Now, when you do shoot arrows down at people building and you kill them, then it will either put them off or they will try again. But every time you hit them, it slows their progress down. So you can still buy time either way. But what I'm planning to do is I will have a gap here, of course, but there will still be a wall above. So they have to go up by 2 and our archers will be on said wall. So I'm currently mining out a section so it's always 3 wide on each layer. And then if needed, I can add pillars to support the walls above if for some reason I've miscalculated in my brain what will be happening. And this here, of course, will be a long, big... let me just demonstrate that a bit properly for you. This wall here will have a wall on top of it, a limestone wall. So once this is all mined out / dug out, then I will start laying down what I mean. But just bear in mind, they will find gaps in your structure, and they'll find the weakest point to attack from. So whenever you build a wall, no matter what it is, always dig a hole or a pit / moat around it. However, I don't advise actually using your water resources to fill in the moat, because if you do, they literally just swim across it and then they start building. I once tried to do a cool system of having, what did I try and do? I tried to do like the river would go under the wall, kind of, and then you had like a grater system, and my settlers kept going in and out of it, which I thought was fine because the enemy didn't, and they didn't for like two raids, I think. But then at some point they just waltzed in, and it wasn't very good. But luckily, I designed the system so whatever you have as your navigated path for your raiders to come through, you always have a backup. So like I mentioned before in the last episode, we had a tower here, which we will be doing. I just need to iron out how it's going to look. And then we will have the big fort as well. So you have not one massive defense system, but then you have a backup and the backup of the backup, which is massive. And that's where we'll keep all our weapons and things. So yeah. That's just an updated version to how to keep in mind of your defenses. Really consider the smartness of these chaps, because they're not stupid. They're really not. Also, why I'm mining out this section here and this section here is that's to generate the gap between what I was talking about, the edges of the walls, because they'll just mine into the walls and knock them down if you don't create a gap. So this stuff here will have a wall along this top of it. However, I just realized I need to cancel those. There you go, because that's where the wall's going to be, of course. So yeah, I'm not going to mine out this just yet because I need to just consider the layout first. Maybe I could just come across this until I get a drawbridge and then I can work on the fort. Maybe that's the best bet, to be honest. Now, in the second part, obviously, I'm going to be demoing the best way to create your defensives to make sure you live as long as possible to get to the stages where the game gets a bit more interesting and fun as you come down the research tree, but also you get to your region section and you can start exploring different settlements and raiding them, but also finding treasure and bandits and all that shenanigans. So this is going to be the main part, but obviously it's still a tutorial at the end of the day, and I'm going to be telling you the best steps to try and stay alive as you go along. So that's going to be everything from food gathering, resource gathering, what to mine and when you need to smelt it, or what's best to keep a hold of. So that's what we're going to be trying to focus on for the episode. And obviously just staying alive. I do just want to always remind you, boars, do not fuck with these guys. They are the strong boys and they will kill you, and I've had many settlers die when I was just massing about and trying to get some food, and big mistakes were made. So yeah, don't screw with the boars until you get some strong crossbows or really strong melee guys for that matter. So yes, we also need to consider that at some point we're going to have to start expanding out our bedrooms and make some houses. Now, I like to do a system where you assign your players, your settlers, sorry, to different functions. So, for example, Madeline will become what we become. You're a good culinary. So let's say we make them cooking / chef as number one priority. Their bedroom would be above the production of the kitchen. Now, if you do that, that just means as soon as they wake up and they've done their leisurely bit, they'll go straight to cooking. They're very close in the vicinity to where they will be doing their primary job, and it saves you a ton of time. Ooh, we've got an event. Let's have a look. See, okay. Mr. Cal, very, very good. This is kind of distracting from where we just were. But as I said before, you want to come down to the bottom right, hit train. And that means someone at some point who's assigned to animal husbandry. But I'm just going to put them all. We'll grab this little cattle here. We shall name them Doris. And wrangle them back over to our farm. Don't think cows / cattle have much of a retaliation rate. So it's pretty chill. But once they are fully trained, where's Doris? Here's Doris running around going crazy. Once they are trained, they can actually haul stuff for you, similar to the dog, and they can haul a lot more. Oh, and we have an idle player. Now, this is an issue if you don't catch it early. This is kind of up the game's fault, not my fault. Essentially, they've dug themselves in and they've blocked themselves. So you need someone. Luckily, I left someone outside, not mining, to come save the day. So essentially, I need to build a ladder here, and I'm just going to do sticks. And I'm just going to plonk one down on each level so they can come up and down as easily as possible. And then I'm going to force Quenelle to build that because they're stuck. And if they stay there, they will sleep there and they will die there if you literally let them starve to death. So that's done. And then she's going to grab some more sticks and she's going to free them. There we go. So they were both sleeping still when their ladders were built. So I just clicked on them and hit cancel. And that woke them up and got their systems engaged. Otherwise, they would stay unhappy and turn rebellious. So hopefully this fixes them. What I am going to do consider if someone's peed off because of an accidental way, not because of your own doing, just let them sleep a bit longer in the morning and give them that leisure time still. It will make them happier because they've made up for the uncomfortable sleep, but also they get that time to chill in the morning. You know, you don't want to push your workers too hard. And we also have a low reserve on food, which is not fantastical. However, is it just considering this here? What do we have? Okay, yeah, we've only got 7 meals and literally no raw meat left. So this next section, if you come here to overview and wildlife, you can get this. It's a lot easier than looking around for something you want to hunt. Say like you can't find deer and it's taking you a minute to scour through. Just do this. Go overview, wildlife. And you can toggle here and it will group all of them into their species. And you just come along here and you tick the hunt button. So I'm just going to do 3 and I'm going to do 2 foxes too, because you can sell or use their materials, their fur and their hides to create clothing. So it's always good to kill these chappies. And there's a crap ton of deer. I never kill all of them. I'm not sure if that will cause an issue of just none being breeded until the season renews. I always leave 1 or 2 just just in case. Typically a male and a female. I just realized I'm killing all the males. Sorry, ladies. So yeah, we'll do some killing of those. I don't really care about the foxes, but the deer population always keep because they give you lots of meat. Wolves, I only start killing once either the population gets too big or I have lots of archers to just go on a crazy hunt. One thing though, which I do when hunting wolves or boars, I draft settlers. I don't just go up here and toggle hunt, because if you send one person to hunt a boar and then missing their shots and they don't have good armor, then they are likely to die. So if you draft them and then you force them to attack the same subject at the same time, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You got a lot higher success rate of taking 0 damage. I very recommend doing that when you get a bear, because obviously it's a bear. I mean, I don't know what you expect at a 1v1 a bear. If you do 1v1 a bear, then I guess education at failure is the best method. So yeah, definitely wouldn't recommend doing that. Anyway, get distracted. Always draft your settlers when it comes to aggressive animals. Now, because those animals are hit on hunt, I'm just going to turn down harvest and growing on our lovely quenelle and turn up hunt, because you have a very high marksman rate, and turn down the rest as well. So that's your number 1 priority. And she should go out hunting in the morning after she's finished being entertained over here. Let's see. There you go, hunting. Bow and arrow straight out. And I think, yeah, we can see their path here. They're going for the fox. Assume it might choose the closest or the first one that I chose to hunt. But either way, let's speed through this and see. There you go. If you get a hit off the bat, that's kind of the best, because then they're just done. I'm going to force her to haul it back, though. Normally, I say this normally, when they kill, they do pick it up and bring it back to your stockpile. Let's just see where it's going. Where are you dropping them? Okay, you are dropping them on the carcass pile. I'm going to just copy and create a new section for these carcasses here until obviously I add some shelves, but I can add shelves in between in the meantime. Obviously, it's in your benefit to bring carcasses downstairs as well, because it's cooler. They won't rot as quick as they would up top. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, they are supposed to pick up those bodies. So I'm just going to follow her and then come back once she's killed most or all of them. Oh, also just happening now, Nicola has roped our lovely cattle and they'll be brought inside along with a little sheepy and bosh. There you go. Safe and sound. But I'm just going to hit train on this chap. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know she was harvesting. I didn't know they would do that automatically. Oh, well, that's cool. I presume they just got some clothing materials off of our little sheepy sheep. The sound of poo is not the most enticing. But anyway, that's the cattle done. Let's go back to, well, let's wait until a few things are ticked off the list, like the mining and the hunting, and then I'll be right back with you. Hey, so Quenelle has killed a bunch of shizzle for us. We've got 2 dead deer and 2 foxes. I tweaked it because I forgot polecats are absolutely finicky and it's a waste of arrows and depletion of your bow if you just make them chase polecats all the time. So I've had those killed. She's now chopping them up. She's going to use that to store the meat and then also any of the other textiles which we get from harvesting the carcasses. Sorry, brain. And then over here, we can see a lot of progress has been made. They're just mining out this remaining wall here. We can at some point push all this back and dig out this massive section and have one massive like backup keep. We can train our settlers up here too. But what I'm doing is I've laid down the initial entrance 1 and I'm not going to be putting walls down here because this is just a very simple path I'm laying down. However, I will be doing this here. So I need to go that deep. And the reason I need to go that deep, that sounds sus the more I say it like that, is because we will have a gate here fitting in this section, and it needs to be long enough. Actually, I don't think that's long enough to add stairs. So the stairs will go there, then they'll come up, and then they'll be in another section where they have to break the second gate. But I'm not putting walls here because it's a waste of resources currently, and they're not going to be able to cross this hole because I am going to make it too deep at some point. I just want them to get the initial bit down, and obviously we'll have gate here as well, and then so on and so forth. You kind of get the gist of how it's going to work and look, but we will have walls on these sections up here, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna leave them, I think, as yeah, I'm thinking wood, but I normally have my archers turn into fire archers, and just burn the chaps whilst doing so. If you're wondering why I don't really care about these chickens, is they normally just die on me. I'd have to build a different pen. I mean, I could do it. Right, let's not get distracted quickly. I also can't see anything with this cool ass haze going on. But you get the gist. Coming down, up, down, up, down, up. It looks a lot neater too. I don't like messy builds. I'm going to focus on the first 2 layers of defense rather than doing all of them, because bear in mind, we will run out of resources fairly quickly. Limestone is a pain because it's the best, but you use it up quicker than you think. You'll mine a crap ton of limestone and it'll just disappear like that. So yeah, stairs. That's what I was thinking of, stairs. I am just going to put for now just some limestone stairs down. I'm not too worried about that. And the gate, it shows you when we get to it, but it swings. So you've just, I think it swings 2 by 2 each side. So we need to leave this and this free. And then the door can go here. Likewise for wherever else you put them. And obviously the ultimate defense at some point is you'll have more rows of gates for them to break through. So it's just a crap ton of time it takes for them to reach you. Also, just quickly noting on, as Quinnell's focusing on cooking so we get our food reserves up, always make sure it's capped still, because if she just cooks endlessly, all this meat's going to disappear again, like I said, and your dog will have issues and die. So don't go crazy cooking everything. 2 reasons: it obviously disappears at some point and it turns into rot, but you also need to feed your other animal when playing lone wolf. Right, some time has passed and a few things have happened. First of all, I've laid out the land for another set of farms just to be going, because we're going to get more settlers soon, and it's in our interest to use the seeds we get from merchants like the one just leaving now, to just keep growing and keep a nice stock of stuff, because vegetables and things like that run out really quickly when they're being used for meals, but also just for eating. Like, they literally diminish insanely quick, so you want a big farming setup later in game. Second of all, we have made some progress here. Now, let me slow down. Actually, let me just pause so I can run you through what we're thinking. First of all, we have our gateway. This is kind of the setup we're going for. It's very small and confined. I'm not filling in the roof, as you can see, and I shall tell you why in a moment, but this is where our gates will go. Now, I also had some research mocked up, which means we can unlock defenses too, where we get these lovely, lovely gates. Now, these are your best friends. So if we go down to defense, and you can see the difference in skill level, but also hit points. So this is 520, it takes only wood, and this is 560, but it takes iron. Now, I have, how much do I have? I have 90 iron. So I can make a good amount of gates. Now, let me just check everyone's construction level. So we've got 6, 20, and 4. Now, remember, at the start of the game, in the first part, I told you to get someone with a high construction level. Nicola was level 10 from what I remember. And from doing most building at the start, she's now level 20, which means she can build these gates. That is the reason I told you to do such a thing, because the gates, as you can see, were level 15. That's why we need it, because we need level 15. So we're going to pop one down here, and we're going to pop another down. Oh, I'm stupid. I just remembered you can't put gates so close next to each other, but that's not going to be a problem, because it's literally, this is the only use case where that is an issue. Let me just get rid of that. So that's where our first gate's going to be, and I'm just going to change it. So this will be a reinforced door. There you go. Lovely jubbly. So it's kind of like a funnel in a sense. You can see it's going to squeeze them in, but it'll take some time to knock down that first gate and then move on to the second door. And then we will have another one down here. Like I said, it takes a 2 by 2 area. So anything placed here will stop the gate from being built if you have it put down. And I'm just going to replicate that and put another door up top so it's nice and symmetrical, because my OCD, I need it to be perfect, okay? I need it to be perfect. Oh, I've kind of just skimmed over the fact of my design. So let me run you through it. I initially had the wall just along this base layer here, And the reason I've changed the design is a few things. So the first one is they could theoretically do ladder, ladder, get up onto the wall. However, we're going to have Merlons, which cancels that idea. Now, this is Ollie from the future here. Merlons don't stop them from climbing up. I completely forgot that, and I'm stupid. But they can actually build ladders up onto Merlons if they're close enough, and they absolutely in the ass. So yeah, ignore that. Be careful, please. But I'm getting to it. If I had that set up, so it was just one tool here, once they get to the second level, they can literally just build a ladder up and attack and kill all of my archers. So the system I'm creating is there will be a floor on top of these walls and then Merlons sticking out to the side. So let me just give you a quick example. You'll have wooden floor, Merlons, there you go, Merlons. You have your Merlons and then you'll have that. So imagine this system replicated all the way down here, okay? Which means they can shoot down onto this base layer and no one can come up behind them without me wasting more resources, putting more Merlons down, and it gets a bit messy and crowded. So that's the reason I've done it. And as you can see, I've supported these with beams because we need structural integrity, and we need to hold up the wall above it. And as you can see, I'm also mining out the sections where they could put ladders down to skip up a layer and be cheeky. And on the vice versa, I'm mining out these sections in front of the pillars so they can't put ladders up. So you can kind of see how well the AI can actually play. This is why I'm planning like that, because it's a lot smarter than you think. And this, I think, will be a great system because once the wall is set up, and you have this cool level for the archers to stand on and shoot down, you can, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add stairs on either end. So the only way to access these tiered walls will be from the base up top. So they're going to have to work their way all the way up to even think about getting my archers down here. Okay. So that is the plan. I'm not going to lay out the top bit until I've got the resources. If you have any questions on the design, just drop it down below. So you can just query any mistakes I've made or why I may have done something. The next thing I will be doing is, drum roll, I will be adding towers. So there will be a tower here with a dun dun dun. You come to this section, and like I said, you can use grated floors for your basement to stop flooding. You can shoot through them. So this little square hole here will actually have a grated system now. It says it's too far from a stable structure just because it's not been built yet. And you need to put a floor around or walls around for it to be safe and secure. But that means archers can stand here and also shoot down in the meantime. And then I'll have another tower here, above the stairs, and vice versa. Another one here, another one here. You can kind of see the gist. There's towers on either end to increase support and raining fire down on the enemy. So I'm going to let them crack on with that. And I'm also, at this point, I tend to start working on my rooms. Now, to work on your rooms, a lot of the time you're going to need to unlock decorative structures. Now, the reason you need that is because you unlock, we come down here. I mean, these are relevant, but you mostly want the wall pottery and the wall tool. Now, for example, if we make a kitchen, this could class as a kitchen fairly soon, but it's tiny, so it's not going to be. You would add your wall tools, for example, in here. This actually would work, this scenario. Let's just turn off the roofs. And we're going to put 2 wall tools down here. So once they're built, this whole room turns into a workshop. Now, by workshop, if you come to rooms, you can see the rooms that have been built have been assigned certain qualities. Now, these are just spare rooms because there's not enough structures in them of specific order or group to enable it to become a certain type of room. Now, you're like, how do I know what I'm there? Well, pretty self-explanatory. You come up here and you see your room types legend. Now, if you hover over each color, you can see the different things. You have kitchen, workshop, library, and then you have the 2 different religion temples, chambers, great hall. That comes a bit later. It's not very important. Infirmary, prison. That's quite important. We do need to tackle that actually. Training room, treasury, and spare room, which we have plenty of. Now, once these wall tools are built, it will turn into a workshop because it says you need 2 wall tool shelves, which you just put in, and then you need at least 1 armorer's table, one bower's table, or blacksmith's forge, workbench, stonemason's bench, or sewing station. And currently we only have one bower's bench, but I'm going to be adding in a sewing station anyway, so it will turn into one. And I believe it gives a boost of productivity. Yeah, workstation boost production speed. Anything being produced in that room on those structures will inevitably just be done quicker. So that's why it's the new benefit to do those. But also it kind of gives you the opportunity to start building out that settlement vibe and having houses assigned to those specific things. So like I said before, I'll have a house where the downstairs is a kitchen and the upstairs is a big bedroom. So that person's happy because they have lots of space, but also their workstation's right beneath them. So yeah, now that I've done that, I also need to touch note on the other thing. So you can get more chairs, which make people more comfy on their buttocks. But I don't think, I'm not too sure, don't think I mentioned on these bookshelves. I added in these bookshelves because books take up a crap load of storage on your stockpile, and you really want to build these to make sure all your books are nice and orderly. Now, I will add some more soon, but there's no point wasting the resources just yet. So yeah, that's why I'm doing that. I advise at some point upgrading to the bookshelf, not the wall bookshelves. What are they called? Wall shelf. Wall bookshelf. Wall bookshelf. Okay. Anyway, you know what I mean. But just because they take more books. But you need a big space for a library. I think library, you need a lot of space though, because when you have unlocked the next structures to make more different types of books, like the thesis, and then I can't remember the other one, you need a lot of space. So I strongly advise a big structure for your library. All right, we have our second battle in sight and closely approaching. So negotiator, instead of your first raid just appearing when you first start Lone Wolf, you tend to get negotiators come through, and you can approach these people and you can either bribe them to piss off, or you can get an insight into how many people will be coming. Now, we're going to send, who are we going to send over? Who's got our best speechcraft? I don't think speechcraft makes a difference in what's about to happen, but I'm just going to send over Madeline to go and negotiate, and then we can have a nosy at what the consequences are. Sometimes instead of negotiators, you do just get raided off the bat, like I mentioned. Like the first raid, it just spawned. That can happen, but in big numbers later down. Like you can have 20 raiders just spawn with battering rams, archers. They can build trebuchets, or I can't remember the other thing. It's like a slingshot. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, they can just appear and absolutely bam you if you're not ready. So stay on your toes. Don't go AFK. However, sorry. I mean, you can go AFK because say you've assigned your settlers to do a load of things. So like mining, building, constructing, harvesting, whatever it is, you can go AFK, because if someone raids you, it pauses the game, which is such a good feature. So don't stress too much about, you don't want to hang about whilst it's being fast forwarded, and just watch them do things. When there's a major event, your game will pause. But now that we have loaded into this, and I can't remember, whoever we sent is speaking to them, we can have a nosy. Pretty self-explanatory. You can either leave, you can tell them, no, stop it, Ron. Or you can make them an offer. Now, we're not going to do that. And here it says some settlers will get a negative mood, which can make people rebellious, which is a bit annoying. Or as you can see, we're going to have a few people. We're going to have 4 marauders, which are just like weak peeps, 1 fierce one, which is normally a bit more armored and strong, and then 2 archers. So I think with the 3 of us, we can take them. That's 7 people to kill. Realistically, you only need to kill 5 or 6, I think, before they surrender. So I'm going to say piss off, and I'm just going to upgrade slightly our little mini base because we've actually run out of limestone to carry on building the big one. And the gates haven't been built and stuff, and I don't want to waste any time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave, because if you say no, they will instantly disappear and you won't have time to prepare. Like currently it says we have a day, but bear in mind you have a day plus when the negotiator pisses off, the extra time it takes for the raiders to get here. So what I'm going to do is just improve this a little bit now that we know we're going to get raided. Make sure everyone's bows are fine. So yeah, everyone's above 120, which is perfect. Anything below 80, I tend to pie off and give them some new bows. But yeah, let's crack on with some more defenses before we get absolutely bombed. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors for them to break down. So that should be enough. Okay, so a funny thing just to note, when you build these gates, they do spawn in locked. So you need to make sure you unlock it. Otherwise, poor Quinell here would be stuck forever. So you just need to come down. So you click the door, come down to the bottom right, and then change it from locked to keep open. Now, they do automatically open if you set stewarding to 1. I'm not going to set those. Well, nah, screw it. They're not going to do too much stewarding. So I'm going to leave that at max, and they would automatically undo it. But if they don't, you can just right click and do prioritize opening door. If that is grayed out, it just means this down here on the door is still set to locked. So don't panic, there's no bug, it's just still set to locked. Now bear in mind, actually, on the same point of gates, when you're being raided, you have to shut all the gates behind you. So what I do is I select all my settlers, I draft them all, I get them all to run up to wherever I want them to be. And then whoever's last in, I undraft when they're on the inside. Because if you do the outside, they'll lock themselves out. On the inside of the base, I make them lock it and then go one by one by one as everyone else gets set up and helps shoot down to slow them down, because obviously you don't want the person locking the doors to die. Now they are going to start adding the extra defenses to our lovely little setup here. So they're just adding the walls and then the doors, and I put some Merlons down too, just so no one climbs up. Okay, so the negotiator has left, and now it says Jester Folk took up arms, making ready for battle. So this means we now have a shorter duration until the chappies come and attack us. So luckily, all our extra fortifications have been done. I'm adding in some stuff for decor now, to be honest. Not really fussed about that. So there you go. Our mini fort still stands proud and tall. We have, how many doors I counted earlier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors for them to get through. 7 chaps will be here soon, but we shall be ready. I'm not going to do any fire pits yet because everything's made of wood. I mean, if you will do fire, well, anything else is going to work. Yeah. What happens to wood when there's fire? It bloody burns. So let's wait until these guys come. After they come, I'm saying come to, okay. After they arrive, I'm going to mine some more limestone from this section here, so we can finish the walls and then figure out what else to crack on with and show you. Bosh, 7 chaps have appeared. Who do we have? We've got our archers. Which one's the fierce marauder? I'm presuming it's one of these guys with the more heavily geared armor. So I'm just going to go into casual mode and 1x speed and then wait for them to start moving. Actually, I can get everyone up there now. No one's annoyed, which is why I'm just going to draft them. If people are a bit pissed off, I wouldn't draft them immediately because maybe that will go down. That mood will go down because you don't want someone turning rebellious when you're mid-battle, of course. But I'm going to put them on the corner so that they cover the most basic angle. Let's just fast forward a little bit. And remember, hit hold ground. If they just disappear out of sight, these chaps won't go down and be like, you want some? You want some? I'll give it you. But there you go. Dream team. Come on, ladies. Let's kill some boys. Now, speaking of boys, where have they gone? If you can't find them, just click incursion. There you go. They're there. They're taking a really weird route down. Some pop shots being taken, which is good. I'm just going to let them carry on and hopefully kill him quickly. I'm just going to select. Ooh, never mind. They're doing it for us. There you go. Big damage taken. I'm just, nope. Okay, so pause. You can see they're getting distracted. And they're spreading out who they're targeting. And you always want to go one by one. So I'm going to hit attack and make them all focus on our chap down here. There you go. And dead. Cool. Now I'm just going to quickly unpause, make the moves here, and I want to deal some damage because I got enough doors to not worry quickly for the second. I just want to kill one archer at least. So we're going to focus on, we're going to get you there. There you go. Select all of, oh, never mind. They're actually running around. Get them all here. Like so. Run, run, run. Hold ground. And we're going to focus one by one on people to kill. I'm going to go for guys getting the doors, actually, until the archers start creating some damage. Oof. Look at that. Okay. It looks like one more is about to go down. And there you go. Hit attack again. And focus on the next chap. Okay, so we just took a tiny bit of damage there. So I'm going to kill this next person, and then we're going to go for an archer. Pause. Hit attack. And where's our archers? These two. I'm going to go for this one because he's already been hit. Archer is dead. And why not finish the second? No point taking extra damage because it's just more time convalencing after the battle. There you go. Bingo, bango, bongo. I always pause after I kill someone just because I can make sure I'm selecting the right targets. But obviously we're going to target this guy getting the door. Jordan. What are you good for, Jordan? You can't do nit. Oh, you're an archer. Oh, sorry, Jordan. I will kill you in a moment. So Cole is about to meet his end. Now, this might seem easy at the moment, but trust me, it doesn't get easy. Soon it gets really hard when there's like 20 to 30 of these buggers raiding you. Huzzah! There you go, victory. So we killed 6. Like I said, you don't have to kill them all. You just have to kill the majority. So if we hit OK, and then that person hasn't even given us the option to go prisoner, so they're going to try and run away. And hopefully these guys will kill him. No, come on, ladies. No, he's going to go away. Just, ooh, it looks like he's got away. I'm going to deal with the bodies in the morning. I'm just going to set them all to strip. Normally I have to do it manually because they don't do it. I think I've gone over this, but it doesn't normally happen. So I make someone typically just strip them the next day and then deal with the... Actually, I'm going to make them... Quenelle, after she's done this door, strip them now because sometimes the dog, our dog, not the wolves, the dog hauls them to the dead burial area and that can upset some people and they can cry and go rebellious. So I'm just going to make her strip them. There you go. She's finished. So strip this one, and the dog's in the way, and this last one. You piss off. Okay, I'm going to have to wait for the dog to disappear now. But as you can see, Quenelle, come back and strip this boy. So they've dropped all their goodies. I always urgent hold the weapons first. So let's double click that and it will select the same type. And there you go. We also have a longbow, which is nice. It's not too damaged. We can repair it, obviously, now with the new function, which is cool. Quite a lot of armor and clothing as well. I do tend to sell a lot of this stuff off because when your settlers wear raiders armor, they actually get upset and they cry quite a bit. Okay, so the bodies are gone and they will not cry. However, we come here. Yeah, there you go. You can see the impact. They're unwilling to do something because they saw a dead body times 4, which is why I've got them out of the way. So if they kept coming back here to haul these bits away, then they would more than likely end up turning rebellious. So I'm glad that that is ticked off the list. Let's make sure those are set to urgent haul. I am going to add couple of decorations to the shared chamber for now. This will also just serve as a way of keeping some of the weapons off the ground instead of having them just laying in the stockpile down here. They shall, so instead of here, they shall be able to be mounted up top. We need to crack on with some mining to finish our Helm's Deep going on here. I need to plan out this top layer and get that walkway sorted as well. So, I mean, it's coming along. You can see the vision. I think it's going to be pretty fucking epic when it's done. Let's let some time pass, do some harvesting, collect more mushrooms because we're on day 10. Only 2 days left of summer, so everything will start disappearing soon. So we really need to prioritize that as well as mining. So yeah, let's crack on. So our food is actually full. So what we need to do, by food it's full, I mean our shelving areas for our storage unit. So we need to upgrade this ASAP and get this sorted out and upgraded. So we're going to add more shelves in along here. Let's do some here so we can keep the carcasses being stored and then just bring that around. So we should get a good chunk more in. Oh, okay. Speak of the devil, we have settler number 4. Luckily, I built that 4th bed up top in our shared chamber, but let's see what we're working with. Okay, we have the most useless one, art, at the moment. Botany 12 is pretty good, and speechcraft is also good in terms of bartering, but nothing amazing. Marksman 0 and melee 0. So in terms of defense, they're useless. But I mean, they're okay on mining and things like that. So we'll take them in, and we're literally just going to assign them as they hobble back from their bleeding wounds to base. At least we don't have to hold them. I'm going to assign them to mining once they're all healed up. So we're going to make sure they will conveil themselves, and then we'll put mining as priority number 1. Got a bit of a trek to make all the way down here. However, she's got marksman 0 and has a crossbow, which is interesting. I might make her drop it so that someone with a higher marksman skill can own it, because it's just going to go to waste with her. Oh boy. Okay, and our stockpile's getting full pretty quick. We really need to start figuring out a system to store our armor pieces because it's taking up a lot of room. Okay, so only a little bit of time has passed. As you can see, I've kind of laid out the plans for our next step, which will be the pathway up here. This is the first bit I will forbid/allow when we get enough resources, and then the second stage is this second wall, which you can kind of see. I know it's a little bit hard, but you can see here it's the same thing, just upper level, and I've changed the layout of the pillars so that I can dig out these bits here, which in itself has generated another defense system for us. So if we just come down a couple layers, sorry. So at some point I will dig these like so, which means the enemy will have to zigzag all the way down here, which again slows them down and gives us way more time for our settlers just to shoot down and stop them destroying each gate as it comes, which is fantastical. So yeah, that was a perk in doing that. The second thing, obviously, we've got to build what I just shown you. We've got these guys just mining out. Currently, we've got a good amount, nearly 1,000, but we need a lot more. I have sorted out the stockpile issues. I built a load of these weapon racks on the walls, so all the things that were on the floor are getting mounted, sorry. However, at some point you can get wardrobes, and they're super handy for all the clothing and armor which you'll get, because you get a crap ton. I tend to sell it off if it's crap, or recycle it into other materials. And then the main reason I paused and came back now for you guys was we have a cellar flooded. Now, normally this would be a pain, but if you listen to what I told you before, we come to our cellar, there is no water, as you can see. But if we have a little looky down here, the cellar plumbing system has come into full use, and that is now filled up with water, which is fantastic. That's why you do that. That's why you listen to me. See, this tutorial may actually come in use for you. I need to start building out some buildings soon as well, so maybe I'll come back to you when I start doing that. But it's now autumn, so these things here will start disappearing. So if you haven't, you should have harvested at least 2 days before autumn. Just make everyone go out and harvest and collect it all, because as you can see here, I have a lot of raw materials which will last us a little while. I did get some fish in as well, and all the seeds are into, not much will grow when winter comes. Well, nothing will grow when winter comes, so make sure you get stuff down now when you can. But yeah, let's get back to it. Well, would you believe it, we now have yet another settler. Again, not too much time has passed, and bear in mind I haven't tinkered with the rates that new settlers come to visit your settlement, so this is actually quite weird. I've played a couple playthroughs where it's actually been really harsh, and it's been a long time before I even got 3, let alone 4 and now 5. However, as you can see, sometimes when you accept a new settler, it comes with consequences. So if you push them out, it's going to have a negative effect. That's guaranteed. But you can sometimes get the same thing, and if you accept them, which we will be doing, and the reason is because if you look down towards the bottom, it says smithing 10, which is exactly what I'm on the lookout for, because it's either 15 or 20 we're going to need at some point to make the traps, which are actually useful. I think they're metal traps, but they require a high construction smithing level to be able to be made. So yeah, we're going to need that ASAP. So I am going to be accepting them in. However, if we move it to the right, it says we're going to get attacked. Well, it says possible. Sometimes they don't come, depending on your military, I don't know what the word is, like representation? No. Your military renown, I think it is. So when you defeat raids, when you get to your region panel at some point, you can see how other settlements, I don't know why I said that so weird, how other settlements view yours, and they might be scared to attack you depending on how many people you've killed. So yeah. However, I think this attack will go through. We're going to accept them. We'll most probably get a negotiator come through, and then the attack will happen. But at that point, we'll have 5 people to shoot arrows down. So I'm going to need to make some new bows as well. What was their marksman? Only level 3, melee 0. So we'll get them in, and we need to start preparing for war. Okay, so the negotiators have left and they're going to be attacking in the middle of the night, which is very annoying because that means we're going to have to wake up our settlers and it can increase your chances of rebellion happening during a raid, which can really not end up going too well for you, as you can imagine. So I'm going to wake them up at the very last minute as soon as they spawn in and get them over to the tower. However, just bear in mind, if we zoom out, they can spawn really, like the worst case scenario would be they spawn here and they can actually beat our settlers to the tower potentially. So you've just got to bear in mind when you wake them up or get them moving towards your defenses, because if they do worst case spawn really close to where you're going to be making them run, that can end up being a big issue for you. So that's one thing just to bear in mind. I'm just going to select them all now so I can draft them as soon as these chaps come along. And speak of the devil, they've spawned in the best place possible for us, which is super far away. So I'm going to let them sleep a bit longer, get a couple more hours in. Kind of looks like some weird comedy sketch. They're actually quite quick, so I am going to wake them up and we're going to get them over to the tower ASAP because those guys are not talking about. We'll see how Lynette does with her crossbow, seeing as she is marksman 0. I think I should have made her drop that, but yeah, you can't do everything, can you? Who's upset because they're wet and religious activities? Well, sorry guys, it's that or death. And I'm just going to let them do their thing for a bit. Never mind, I take that back. I'm immediately just going to target the door first. Ooh, okay, so we should be fine. They're going to definitely get through to this next section, but we have made a lot of damage. Now I'm just going to move these chappies here so everyone has a clear line of sight. And again, hold ground. Oof, someone just got absolutely headshot there. And they can't see anyone at the moment, but don't worry, that is fine. At least we know we really need to prioritize finishing our Helm's Deep. But, oh, come on. I think if that next person dies, we might be good. Come on, heal him, heal him, heal him, heal him. There you go. Okay, never mind. We do need to kill one more. So let's just fast forward a bit here. And the door is down. And now they should rain fire down on these guys. And we have one. There you go. Lovely jobly. Now this guy's going to run away any second. And everyone's going to try and shoot him, hopefully. They're not very good at getting this last guy, are they? Oh, oh, oh. Hey, everyone is dead. Fantastic. There you go. Cool. Everyone is stripped down. The doors are getting repaired just in case we randomly get raided again. But there you go. Another successful defense. Now let's carry on with our own defenses of the big boy castle that is going to be Helm's Deep. Okay, so this is new. I have 2 settlers absolutely battering each other in the face because one was rebellious. This is something I've not encountered before. So can this be broken up? I can't right click on anyone. So let's just see if they finish battering each other around the head and, you know, settle their qualms. I mean, if you want to place your bets now, then this might be the best time to do so because Lynette is getting absolutely battered by Quinnell. What's his stats? Oh, he's level 14 and she's level 1. I mean, at least they're, you know, getting their stats up. Hopefully no one dies because of it. Oh, there you go. He's no longer... He just needed to smack a bitch around the face. Oh my god. Anyway, if you're wondering why they became rebellious, Quinnell decided to build a wall. So he was here, and then he built a wall here and just decided to block himself in. So I had to go and get him out and deconstruct a few walls. But that happens, and it can be a massive pain in the butt when it does. Why? Ah, right. Okay, that's why none of this can be built, because this is set to locked. Now Madeline's going to go and unlock that, and then that will be fixed, and all this should turn blue theoretically. And there you go, all blue now. So yeah, it was just the door that was stopping that. Oh, hostile animals. What we got? We got some foxies, which aren't close, and the animals are fine and penned in. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to leave them. Hopefully it doesn't start battering Lynette in her sleep again. Oh my god, it's kind of daunting. He's just standing there watching her like, bitch, I want a rematch. So hopefully he doesn't do that. Otherwise, we may have to banish him, which you can do down here. You can hit banish. That might be a first for me if that does happen. Now, winter, and a lot of progress has been made. As you can see, we now have the 2nd tier of the mega wall up for our lovely Helm's Deep here. I have done some little adjustments here. I'm planning to bring this path out a lot more, so it'll kind of be like this. So the raiders will be forced down this narrow road where the archers can just pummel them. This just means they can't crowd here and all hit the gate at once. They'll have to come one by one, essentially, or two by two. Some Noah's Ark shit going on. But yeah, the wall is nearly done. Once that is done, I'm going to be working on the main gates that'll be here. You may think this is the main gate. No, this is just for archers to shoot down on. So this is a grated floor here as well as here. And they'll be able to stand on top and just keep shooting relentlessly down. And then we will have one more wall along this edge here, as exactly as we have done so here. However, it won't have pillars. It'll just be a flat wall straight along, like so. Let me just show you, and then we shall have that. So that would be the final wall there to go in, but we're going to need to do some more mining more than likely before that happens. And then obviously our massive fort is going to be here. The wall will need to be added along here as well as more mined out, because I was just recalling back to some of my raids when I was doing all this, and remembered that they did cross sometimes over a single width. So I'm going to double it up just for safety. Obviously, we're not going to know it works properly until we see it in action. So I really need to get these final braziers worked up. If it's going to start working, we need to just get our defenses fully operational. We don't necessarily need this third tier, I don't think. But I at least want to try it on the first 2 tiers, because it's still a lot of travel time for raiders to get up to me, and more people are rebellious, which is annoying. Okay, so we also need to attend to some of the basic needs of our settlers. I've added in some games here. As you can see, I've made someone work on some food, but it's all been eaten again, which is a bit annoying. So I need someone to do that again. And then, I mean, once this base is pretty much up and operational, we can do all the nice stuff, like all these extra perks. Especially things like armor and extra defenses and stuff. But before we do that third stage of defenses, we really just need to prioritize on making these guys a bit happier. We have a crap ton of wood, so we can make some basic houses too, get some furniture upgrades in, and just make them happy. Churches are going to be one, because when you have a room dedicated to a church space for a certain religion, then obviously that's also boosted, and they're happier for longer, rather than having to have 2 leisure days, 2 leisure sections in your day, and you can just have one and get away with it most of the time. One thing to note, when I do build out, it's going to be here by the river still, because these, as you can see, are flaming hot, and they're going to use or the archers are going to use them for flaming arrows. And if that spreads, which it will, especially if it's a long raid, then it will spread onto the buildings, which will be built here. So just bear in mind, if you're doing flaming archers, don't build near where they're going to be shooting, because it will catch fire to everything, and then you will lose a lot of stuff. So just be conscious of that. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, I added in a tailoring section here. I had some clothes made up for winter. I also made some longbows, which you can see here. And then I sold a ton of clothing and unnecessary weapons. I always sell the crap ones, the ones which are the cheapest, because if they're cheap, that normally means the durability is low and they're not actually that good weapon wise. So I got rid of all of that. And then I used it just to buy some ice and some seeds, nothing crazy. But yeah, that was just one thing I wanted to mention before I crack on with the rest of this. Okay, so the second wall is now completed, as well as a little hut here to shoot down on one of the gates. I do have one more to go, but this one's not the most important one to finalize, because that is the last door. I do have one more gate here to be built, which I'm going to prioritize fairly soon. So that means they will have, I think it's 7 gates to go through. And obviously these bigger ones are a lot sturdier and stronger. Plus, when you build higher up, I don't think I've actually mentioned this, when you build higher up, your archers, well, I find, inflict way more damage and they're a lot more accurate. So this is 3 blocks high. So anyone coming here, and let alone this first tier, is going to take a shed load of damage, let alone every other tier is always at least 2 above. So we have a fantastic system going on here. Obviously, I haven't addressed the behind. I still need to create a moat almost again around the back, as well as add a wall somewhere just so they can't just come down, which is why I'm leaving this here, because if they spawn in up here, for example, I don't think I'll be inclined to come straight here just yet until this is fully secure. So that's the reason I'm still leaving up our little initial tower here. Now, the reason we're about to get raided is because I let in a new fellow, Philomena. I don't know how you pronounce that. Philomena? Filomena sounds a bit Italian, doesn't it? But anyway, that's why we're about to get raided. So I need to consider just getting everyone up and buffed. I've made anyone who's marksman 10 plus have a longbow. And if not, they're staying on a short bows, of course, which means we're going to just be a lot more accurate and be able to. The range of the longbows is literally like 1.5 to 2 times bigger. It's massive. So it's in your interest to upgrade people as quickly as possible if they can take a longbow, that is. The next steps I need to do is I need to start unlocking some furniture because some of our people have been a bit rebellious. So yeah, apart from that, we need to get some books made, which will be under this second section. I've unlocked it already, which is a research table, not a basic research table. So now we can start making, I believe they are called handbooks. So yeah, we need some handbooks next, let alone normal books. Okay, so our next raid is about to be upon us, and I have a feeling one of my settlers will be rebellious during this one, just because I didn't realize they were locked up here accidentally. So yeah, we might be down a madam Colina will be out the fight. So yeah, we need to keep an eye on that. Oh, okay, so they've spawned really far away, which means we can actually make use of our new base. So we're going to get everyone up to Helm's Deep and get them on the main gate here. And like I said, whoever comes in last to your castle, use them as the person to lock all the doors behind you, because otherwise you'll just let them waltz on through. So yeah, we're going to quickly get everyone in and shut these doors behind us. And I'll show you how I do that. So it looks like lovely, lovely Madeline will be last in. So I'm going to get her in. I'm going to pause, and this is set to locked, which is good. I'm going to undraft them and just hit prioritize locking door. So there you go. There's one door locked, and they should just carry on running down. No, never mind. She's eating. So let's just get her coming all the way down those to this next gate for us. So let's hit pause again, prioritize locking door. So that's 2 gates done, and then so on and so forth. So I shall quickly fast forward through this and then return when all the gates are shut. Now I'm actually going to leave this door as the last one to lock. I believe in our capabilities to have 5 gates as a defense. So as you can see, I've made these guys fire archers. Now the way you do it, let me just pause. You select all of them and you hit this little use fire arrows. They have to be, I think, within 2 blocks or grid marks of a brazier. And here, obviously, we have 2, which should cover the full circumference of the area. So all these guys will be we'll be using fire arrows, sorry. So let's just quickly spread them out and hit hold default. Our last couple coming up, make them fire arrow as well and hold. Now, as you can see, we've already killed 1. We're about to be 2, which is fantastic. There we go. A few peeps down on the door. Making good progress. You can see the damage is a lot more consistent now with the height, and the fire arrows make use because it actually makes them run away sometimes because they don't like being set on fire, clearly. Now I'm actually going to get them to focus on these guys because they're doing quite a bit of damage. So kill these guys off. This one as well. I think they are going to get through that gate, but let's just get rid of their range capability so we can just pick them off. So let's just kill this last one. And Cassandra falls. Now these guys are coming on through here. So let's get them over this end, and they're going to be attacking this next gate, and everyone can just get up top. Let's just pause and get them in position and shoot down on them, which is cool. There you go. Look, it's looking like they might get past this next one, but even so, we're doing a crap load of damage to them, which is awesome. So let's just get this next person here. And I think it's safe to say, yes, that was a success. They only got through 1 gate, and then the second one almost fell. But as you can see, the system works pretty well. I do want to add some more gates in between these like long sections. So I'm not going to take any prisoners, so I'm just going to let them try and kill them. But I want to add a couple gates here and here and here and here and here and here. So instead of 6, it should turn into 12. Just for them to even get up top, which would be cool. But as you can see, they didn't even attempt building up. They just went straight for... Oh, that was handy. Went rebellious at the end. Anyway. Success. But yeah, no one tried building up because we got rid of the capability to do so. So I'm happy with Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep has held up to the first test. Now, just a quick one. We have Nicola here suffering from cold. Now, she does have it, so she should just be equipping apparel herself, but she is not. So if you have got some winter clothes made, just obviously go down to them, and make her force equip them. So that should disappear. So cold should also disappear momentarily. Now they're just chilly, which is at least better. But now she is, of course, rebellious. All that effort we put into you women. Here, I have just quickly built up a mini library. This isn't going to be our library in the future. We shall move it or just expand it upwards into like a towered library almost. But here we have moved our basic research table at some point, and then we have a research table, not a basic one, and added a crap ton of bookshelves. That should suffice us for now. I think next door I'm going to start building a kitchen. So downstairs will be like a butcher's shop almost, and then upstairs will be where the cook can sleep. And I need to start adding in some proper beds, so which is why I'm building this first, if you're curious, because I want to get more research on the go. Okay, so there we have it. The roof is pretty much done. I say roof, floor, and the reason I'm doing this is because I will be expanding upwards at some point. So I'm going to set this to forever. We need someone with intellect 15. So if we just come here, see who's the highest, 14 here. So we're going to take lovely Nicola here, take her off whatever she's doing and make her do some research. So this person needs to be cancelled. And then hopefully Nicola will come over. Yeah, she'll start writing. So let's just quickly see her levels. If we come, so if you click on their profile, come here to skills, and then you should be able to see intellect. Yes, it's 14, and it will go up if I fast forward every time she makes a book. And it should be 2, I think. Yeah, 1 more, and then she'll be level 15. Now, once she is, huzzah, I will assign her to this one, and I will get back Kalina to doing research. So she will then start working on this one whilst Nicola is on this, and then you have 2 people writing, which is perfecto. We still have Quinel on the food, which is awesome. For some reason, Lynette is deciding to come and write, which I don't think I set that. Oh, I accidentally set alchemy as number 1, not research. Okay, so Lynette, let's cancel what you're doing, love. You're not going to be doing that. And we're going to make you do some writing. So there you go. They'll be chugging along doing that, which means I'm aiming for furniture 2. So I can get these comfortable beds in and they'll be a bit happier. I also need to actually set up somewhere for them to eat, some proper tables. So I think instead of this just being a workshop for now, I'm just going to end up turning it into a big eating area. How many people do we have? We have 6. So we don't need a table so big. Some chairs around the table so they can sit and eat. Okay, so we've also run out of gold ingot / raw gold. So let's put the iron back on. The reason we want more iron is because at some point when we're happy, the gaps here will be filled in with more of these iron grated floors. So this will become one massive floor for the archers just to come along and shoot down on people coming up. So yeah, that's the plan with that. So I'm going to need lots of iron in the future, but also I need iron for traps moving forwards. So I'm about to make our next room. Now I have made a little kitchen. I'm keeping it very close to our food storage because obviously they're going to have to come in and out. I've moved the butchering table from in here over to here, and I'm about to add a couple of wall tool shelves like we mentioned before. This will create, if we come up here, a kitchen. So you need a stove, which is here, butchering table, which we have, and then 2 wall tools. Oh, is it wall tools or pottery? Oh, it was pottery. Okay, I caught myself out. Let's get rid of those. Come down here and select wall pottery. So they will be built. And once the stove is done, I just need to get some limestone. Then this will become a kitchen. And up top, I've added some stairs here, which is where I shall add a nice bedroom. So our chef will have a nice big area to call home and be very close to their working station. Hey, so we have our next trader just arrived. Now, this person is one of the structure traders. They also come with some extra bits like books, which you can use when you create a library. Someone can have one of these books during like a little ceremony, and everyone's botany skill, according to whatever the icon is, will be increased, which is actually a pretty awesome thing. If you get a library set up, you can get settlers rising through the ranks a lot quicker than you normally would. Something you want to keep an eye on is if you have something like gold. So like I told before, I had these ingots made up. we can sell, let's say 50, and we have 185 quid to work with. Now, you can put this towards a few things. For example, cartography table will need to sell a bit more, which is fine. But I typically get these restitution as well as, there should be an Oak Brethren one somewhere. So there you go, Oak Brethren. Because I don't typically go down the tree route of religion early on, just because you can put those books towards something more useful. So if you can buy these, that means when you start working on your 2 churches, you can skip a step and just have these installed whenever you're ready, which is quite good because then people get happier quicker. We can sell some rubbish to them. So I'm just going to get rid of the cheaper stuff. Anything that is just taking up space, like the bow here. What else do we have that we can get rid of? This little flimsy thing. So with all that being said, is there anything else we can get? We have 203 now. So let's look for something fairly inexpensive. Books, never buy books and never sell books. If you sell books, like I said before in the first part, you're going to have to make up for whatever you've lost. I think that is also, they've got no bricks, which I was hoping for. So I'm just going to give back some gold to ourselves. If you hold control, by the way, you can go up by 10. And if you hold shift, you can go by 100, as you can see. For now, I want to keep a bit of gold for ourselves. So I'm just going to accept on that. And then they should drop it wherever they were. There you go. We have these 2, the urgent haul, and then these will be in our storage for later, which is awesome. I've also added a little trade store just so they don't mass up in the house, which is getting a bit annoying, a bit crazy to try and find people, see what's going on. So yeah, once that's built, their trader will stay there. Their people will still wander, but the trader will stay there. So we have kind of like this little market area going on, which will be quite cool. And this needs to be finished fairly soon as well. One thing I did forget to touch on was when you get to the stage of being able to build these nicer beds here, you can obviously assign people. I'm going to assign our chef to this room, so this will become his chamber. And when you assign people to their own chambers, you can actually unlock certain roles. So for example, if you want someone to be a prison guard, you need them to have their own chamber. But we'll get to that when it comes to it, hopefully fairly soon, because it's a very useful thing to have at some point when you need more settlers. But anyway, what I was going to say was with these beds, they take fodder. I think it's like 30 or 40. So if you're in winter and you end up building a load of these all at once, you could eat into your animal's supply and they will starve to death if you don't have food for them. So just bear that in mind. I have 900 currently, so I'm absolutely fine, but you won't be able to find any more fodder until spring, or to be honest, summer. Spring, it's barely there, like literally 5 or 6 around the map. They would somehow have to last through 2 seasons, which just wouldn't work with it. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Training successful. If you come and click on them, you can see the percentage of which they are trained. Currently only 14% and 0 because no one's high enough level currently for a lovely cow. And it works the same when you have prisoners. You can click on them and check on their recruitment status. But we'll touch on that, like I said, when we get to it. I was thinking, do we have the prison in the fortress? They don't like go to the prison and try and free any of their settlers, but it's just kind of a cool thing to think, isn't it? You have like a dungeon. Maybe this little bit. Thing is, it's already dug out. This could be prison down below. I kind of like that idea. And then up top, we can have the warden's room. You can get a warden desk, I believe. There you go, prison desk one. Prison warden's desk. So up top will be a floor and a wall obviously around it, and down below will be the prisoner's cell. It doesn't have to be multiple rooms. You can just have one cell with multiple beds and keep a load of people in it. But I like that idea. I like it. Okay, so a fun one. As I've been upgrading our defenses, as you can see, I'm adding 2 extra gates along here, just because the earlier I can store them at the start, the better. I am considering adding a wall here, because whoever's closing these gates, if we get a close one where the raiders are a lot closer than we expected, then these guys might get shot while shutting the doors. And if they get hit while shutting the door, they have to restart shutting the door, and it can be a pain, and it can actually end up leading to a load of people getting in and you dying. So I might add just a basic wooden wall before the massive awesome one, because I want to keep using limestone up top for our main defenses. And this can just be some sort of dummy wall. God, I'm so ADHD because this is not what I meant to tell you. But when building this bit, Nicola stood on top of this whilst building it and pushed herself into the hole. Now this happens, it's just buggy. When in doubt, literally just come down, build a ladder, a stick one, no point wasting resources on an actual one, and then just allow themselves to get dug out. I will force Madeline. Where's she going? She's coming down to the gate. Okay, we're not going to force Madeline, we're going to force someone else to come build this to get Nicola out, otherwise she'll cry, and we don't want Nicola crying because she's an OG. And I'm just going to bring this wall along here and here, like so. So that'll be like our main outdoor wall. Most should be 100% do not have enough wood for that, so it's going to involve some cutting. I think it'll be quite a cool just entrance to the base. Obviously I mentioned the fire and stuff, but because we left the gap, it should be fine. The only time it might spread and destroy the walls is here. I mean, it's coming together now. I'm very happy with how it's looking. This is going to be a mega base once we've got these final bits done. Obviously, there's a lot of mining to do. I've already done a big chunk, and they've come and widened the edges here, missing one little bit. And then we just need to do up top. I'm thinking here could be like a mega church or tower. And then even more curious, move the beds and still have the village down here, but have more beds inside the fort. So say we're about to get raided and I know it's going to cross into nighttime. We can make an underground base here, which will just have a load of bedrooms in it. So everyone can be close to their stations for when we get attacked. Okay, so our room has just been finished for the kitchen. We now have the stove in. So if you come here, you can see all these extra things. You can still carry on making your simple meals, lavish meals, which require herbs. So when it turns summer and we get some more herbs laying around, that's what we'll be making more of. Because I think our lovely Chef Quinelle is now level 12. Okay, so they're close to 15. However, we do have someone who can make it. Then we can also make pickled vegetables, salted eels, and animal feed. But you can also do that around here as well. But it just gives you more places to make more meals. I already know we have a crap ton of meals still. Once that gets to like 20, then I'm going to start focusing on getting more food again because we have 6 settlers and they eat quick. You can do the maths. That's 10 days. So you just got to be careful about your food depleting. And we have a shitload of people being rebellious right now, which is fun. Let's just see why lacking entertainment, which is interesting, and slept outside. That's fair enough. You took too long getting to bed. But lacking entertainment is quite funny because obviously we have all of this here for them and everyone's got leisure time. I did get rid of the evening leisure time just because I wanted people to work a bit longer. So what I'm going to do is just shuffle the day around and hopefully tackle some of those issues. So they only will have a short period where they might be lacking entertainment because it'll be fixed in the morning and it'll be fixed in the evening as well. But I do need to add more games because obviously there's 6 now and there's only 3. Well, this can take 2, and then so you can have 4 games going on and then 2 people in religious activities. But if they all want games, then they're all going to cry, aren't they? Oh, God's sake, Nicola, what is your problem, woman? She loves building herself into places. Oh, okay. Quinelle, stop. Quinelle! Brother! Bro, honestly, I kept trying to stop him from doing that. Right, deconstruct that bitch. Jesus Christ. Right, Nicola, come out. Come. Oh boy, these settlers. Now, as you can see, a couple of our braziers have gone out. And I've assigned Filomena to be steward as priority number 1. And then everything else is either lower. I've put construction and mining to 2. So once she's done that, she'll come up and work on this. I don't know if it's a woman or not, to be honest. It is a lady. Okay. But once they've done all that shenanigans, the fires will be lit again. So if we do get raided, we're not just stuck with normal arrows. We can inflict a bit more damage and chaos with fire. Also, again, a reminder, as it is spring, your settlers can start laying down vegetables and things like that. So I'm going to have our lovely Nicola do so. There you go. She's doing what we wanted to. We got a crap ton of carrots. We got some more cabbage. We can't lay beets down just yet, so there's no point worrying about that. I don't think anyone's got enough botany for beets. Actually, let me just check. So beets, we need level 20, and she's about to turn level 20, so we can actually lay some beets down soon. We just preemptively lay down a beet field. Let's do another fence area here, and then add in our beets in between. We'll do half to sow, to seed, sorry, to sow, and then the other half will just be normal growing. Wicked. Now, I'm also going to unlock beekeeping at this stage because it's the start of spring. It's a good idea to get one down and in. And the main reason is because when they are in production, they can obviously produce beeswax for you, and you do need that for certain items, especially for the religious ones. I think you need beeswax, and then also when you get your fancy candles and all that shenanigans along the way, it is actually quite a useful material to have. So I'm going to get that done, and then once it's built, you kind of click on it, go to production and set it to forever, and then people will come along and they will get the beeswax from it every now and then and just store it in your stockpile. So it's a good thing to bear in mind and just get sorted. Along here, I've decided to, instead, the library of going upwards, I can always extend it out if needed, but I'm adding some bedrooms up top. I'm adding 4 with fancy beds. They're going to have braziers and everything, so people will just be a bit more comfortable and happier in the interim. Bollocks. I was selecting all the walls and I've accidentally just turned everything into a sideways log that I can see. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, bear with me whilst I fix all of that. So the beets are down. We have 2 scalps in production of honey. All our carrots are down. I changed this whole area of cabbages to go to seed rather than ripe. So then once we have a load more, that will be our ripe section. What else have I done? A lot more of the mining has been completed. I've decided to expand a bit up here so we can have an upper area just for like commodities like communal areas and things like that, if that makes sense. Maybe a tower on each corner and just digging out potentially any exposed parts where people can just dig down just add ladders down and come in from behind us. So I'm just trying to secure the security from the top as well as the bottom. Of course, we come over here, the bedrooms are pretty much done. We have a couple beds up. We just need to get some more linen, which I have people doing. They're hunting currently. More limestone is being mined out, as you can see from our lovely chaps. And then we have a lot of animals being hunted as well, so I can get that linen topped up again. Oh, and of course, I fixed all the wooden bits, which got converted all to sideways logs, which was a bit annoying. It's not exactly the same as it was before, but I mean, you gotta get a redo every now and then, and you can change it. So yeah, I mean, that's fixed. One thing I do need to start considering soon is armor, because I presume our next few raids are going to be a lot stronger. I just need to keep an eye on the bows. Like this war bow for Nicola is pretty much gone and done, so we're going to get her upgraded. At some point, you can, if you come to research and to the training combat bits, you can build these. And essentially, it's pretty self-explanatory. They can train their skills, whether it's melee or archery, and they'll get their marksman level up or their melee one, and then you can enable them to upgrade what weapons they can use quicker. So if you want someone to get to crossbow, but they're on like level 15 and they're not close enough, just get them training in the job section here, and then you can get them to that level quicker than you want. Oh, okay. We have another person. What's the con? Ooh, that's a big raid. That's a big one. How many people was that? 15 raiders. Is this worth it? Let's have a look. Mining 14, marksman 14, speechcraft 14. I was really hoping for a better smithy, so I'm gonna have to think about this one. You know what? Why not? What's life without a bit of action? Am I right? Let's just take him in. We've got enough beds. Meggie, come on, Meggie. It's herself, clearly. What sort of a name is Meggie? Anyway, we're going to have them conveil themselves. And obviously, as always, come here, ranged apparel. Yeah, we are now getting quite a lot of chaps, which I'm glad we're hunting because we're going to need more food soon. Oh, the body's in. Yes, we have 1, 2, 3 deer. And I think there's 3 more. Either way, we have food in the stockpile. I've left Cornell back to being a chef again. So food production will always be on the go at least. Okay, so we have a negotiator who has arrived. Where are they? They're here. We're not going to bribe them. We're not going to go and talk to them. We're just going to let the duration run out because we want as much time as possible. And that means in 13 hours, it'll be like midday roughly when they leave. And then the attack should happen just before the evening comes, which is kind of good, because that means everyone will be rested up. I'm going to increase the amount of time these chaps sleep for. and give them some leisure time in the morning, of course. So everyone's happy before the raid comes. Always try and make sure everyone's happy. Like, who's unhappy right now? You're unhappy because you're tired. That's the main one. So they're going to get plenty of sleep, hopefully, if they get back in time. I'm also digging this little courtyard vibe we've got going. It's a bit cozy in terms of things being close to each other, but I'm not too fussed about that for now. The main goal is survival, like I said. I've added some flax too, just some more stuff, because we're going to need more beds in the future. So just adding extra production where I can. And obviously the went bloody rebellious. As soon as they got to bed, they got rebellious. Okay, so the raiders upon us. They have spawned quite close over here. So we're going to get everyone inside and up to the defenses. Obviously, again, the usual strategy. Whoever is in last locks the doors behind them. So it looks like it's going to be a phenomena. But let's keep an eye on where they go, because there are a couple weak points I've noticed, like here. My dumbass didn't change this to limestone, so I need to consider that might be an entry which they may take. Maybe I'll get everyone actually just over here for now, so if they do that, we can put them off and force them around. Come on, Filomena, you need to get to the door to shatter them. If you liked my impression of an Italian accent, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Don't think that's the best method to get people to engage with your YouTube channel, but you know, you got to try it. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Look how quick this guy is. Bloody hell. Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, let's just get everyone over there, because it doesn't look like they're going a sneaky way, I don't think. You dumb smegging Italian. You're supposed to lock the door with you on the other side. Now, whilst you're doing that, how's everyone doing up here? Okay, we've already killed one. Fantastic. Fantastico. You're going to go there. You're going to go there. And Lynette, come on. Get up front. Make sure you... Okay, you are. And hold ground. Awesome. Okay, look, we've got a really good choke point here. They're all forced into this little area. And feel... Oh, you're locking yourself in again, you smeghead, aren't you? What are you doing? You're locking the doors up there. Oh, my God. Okay, this is why you got to manage your settlers. I'm in full trust of our tribe right now to defend the main gate as this little chicken comes in. Normally, I would be prepared a lot earlier, but I left it to the last minute trying to dig out those like final weak points, which I thought there were. But they're doing a ton of damage. One thing is these big guys here, they knock down your doors insanely quick. However, they're weak as chips. Like, look at this. So weak. And they're dead, but they do a crap ton of damage. At some point, do we have any? You do get raiders with battering rams, and they will knock down your doors in like 3 hits, 4 hits. So just look out for them. But again, they're super weak, so just aim for them once you see them. Sorry, just gonna lock this door, and then I think I'm just gonna get her up top because I don't think they're getting anywhere near us. Helm's Deep is proving to stand up to the test right now. And look at these guys. Look how sick they look shooting down. Our tribe of ladies and a couple lads. Oh, where are they going? Okay, they're changing strategy here. As you can see, they're going somewhere. So we're going to adapt and get everyone on this flank here and shoot down on them because they're carrying on with whatever the strategy is. It looks like they're going to try and knock in this wall down. Like I said, they look for weak points. Look how smart they are. They're like, we're not getting through these gates. We're going to start digging. But you can cancel their plans sometimes if you kill whoever's doing the digging. But they're persisting this time. The AI is trying to eat our souls. Because I know that soil is really weak. I'm trying to kill whoever was digging first. But it looks like we're committing a lot of carnage. And they're going for it again. Yes, they are. Target this weakling. There you go. I reckon they are screwed. Come on. There we go. Look at that. We killed 12 enemies. We barely took any damage. And, oh, all of them want to be taken prisoner, interestingly. However, we don't have a prison. Oh, smithing 18. Okay, we're going to have to try and build a prison as quickly as possible because smithing 18 is an opportunity you do not want to pass on from. So I'm going to get everyone undrafted. This person will just sit there like, oh, please take me. However, they might burn. They might burn, but hopefully all these doors get unlocked. And we have some big fires breaking out, as you can see. This is what I meant about building too close to home. If you build too close to home, you can lose everything. So everyone's deciding to fucking sleep. No, don't sleep. Go put out some fires, guys. Come on. Yeah, our lovely prisoner is burning to death right now, which isn't too good. Okay, all the settlers have woken up, which is good. Come on. And now they should go and put out some fires. There you go. You can see they're stomping them out over our wall is on fire, which isn't too good. Maybe I need to dig an extra gap around here. Oh, we got a big fire breaking out over here, which isn't too good. Put out those. Thank you. Thank you. Doing this. If they're not putting out fires, come to your job section and make sure firefight is number 1. I always leave it at 1 because obviously they'll just tackle them as soon as there is a fire breaking out. But I really need people to put these out. We have 4 people rebellious, which is not good because that fire is spreading slowly towards our base. These guys I'm going to take and just make them put out these over here rather than the wall. Wood can be replaced. This cannot. We need to keep our veggies. There you go. Look, they're putting them out slowly, which is good. What are they doing now? Oh, they're getting water buckets. Okay, cool. That's fine. And the rain saved us. Okay, we got very lucky there this time. We have a lot of people rebellious, but overall it was a success. We killed everyone. Sadly, we couldn't take our prisoner hostage because they ended up burning, I think. And a lot of the bodies, sadly, also burnt. So we don't get to keep a lot of their weapons, which is a bit of a shame. That's one of the things of fire. You can just end up losing everything. However, it's like you do get too much stuff sometimes. So you're not essentially losing out on too much. The stuff you make will be the best because that will be max hit points. Another raid successfully stopped. Fire was everywhere. However, we've discovered our weak points. So if you do discover a weak point, obviously make sure to tackle it before the next raid comes. So I'm going to do the same on either side. When you get raided, you live and you learn. And it's always best to react as quickly as possible because you never know. You could get a back-to-back raid at some point. There you go, don't have it. That is the end of part 2. Now, obviously, this was very defense focused, so I do hope you enjoyed it. We made a ton of progress, seeing from where we started here to where we ended up, defending off multiple big raids. They do get bigger though, so we do need to start thinking about that. But if you really did enjoy this video, please think about dropping a like, a comment and subscribing. It means so much. It gives me the willpower to keep going and make me want to keep making more. So in the next part, I'm going to carry on with this series, build up our kingdom, make a mega base, show you how to get those weapons going, advance them some more, and all that there is. So including the region. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, do the things I said. Support me. I appreciate it. I love you all. To everyone who's subscribed, commented, and liked, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in the next one.